An announcement. Uh, what's the announcement going to be? Nobody knows. Right now, it doesn't look like there's any backing down. It looks like the trade war is only escalating. Saw some news this morning about Europe prepared to fire back, so to say, in this trade war. Let me go ahead and I'm going to update our calendars for us. So we're good to chat about this. I wanted to make sure to get the most recent reports in. Put that down there. But how is everyone doing so far this week? Um, Yesterday was definitely a very interesting day. Let me just pull up a chart here in a second. I'll walk you through it. What happened yesterday? Obviously, if you guys have been following along, you know what I predicted. I'll cover it again today, but let me just pull it up here. This is what I told you last week. I thought we are going to get to about 585, get a little pullback from there, and then go higher. We fell short of that. We had that pullback a little bit sooner than expected. Now we haven't broken this analysis yet. We're still within range, but we did go touch new lows and then fired right back up through it. So yesterday was a very, very bullish candlestick, even though it was an ugly day. Now today we're kind of pitter-pattering around, showing some strength, showing some weakness, showing some strength, showing some weakness, kind of doing nothing since the open at the moment right now. It has sucked over the last month, says Mary. I agree. It has not been fun. It's much more fun when stocks are going to new highs every day. Bill is curious, and I'm curious too. Did anyone here get in on the Newsmax IPO? I know I didn't. I don't like to touch brand new IPOs. What I like to do typically, and maybe I'll cover it in one of these classes, is I like to let a stock IPO get a good 90 days under its belt typically. And this probably, I shouldn't say probably, but this very well could happen to Newsmax. But typically, when IPOs are hot, when they're in season, you'll see a run up from the IPO and then kind of a peak, and then it really troughs. A lot of times they'll go well below their IPO price, base from there, and then stocks that have made that pattern, gone below their IPO price, when they come back up and start to peak above their IPO price 3, 6 months later, that's when I'm buying them. That was the exact setup we had on Kava. Who here was able to trade Kava with us? We bought it $42. I ended up selling around 100. It went all the way to 170. Anyone here did Kava? That was one of those IPO trades. So I'm curious. Bill's curious. Did anyone here do Newsmax? Are you guys gonna wait? Oh, nice, Richard. There you go. Not all trades wins. Richard says he used my indicator for 2 call trades on Tesla yesterday for the first time. First one was a loser, lost 18%. But the second one, he made 45%. That's awesome, Richard. So he made up for the losses. Ended up net positive about 20% on the day. Very nice. Very nice, Richard. Nope. No one's done Newsmax that I can see. I wish Gaston says I wish I did. I do too. Well, 2020 hindsight, it's nice to be a Monday morning quarterback or an armchair quarterback, as they say, and look backwards. In all reality, this is my opinion. It would have been very, very risky to go in, especially with any sort of size on an IPO like that one. It would have been very risky. Now, obviously, the reward would have paid off in that scenario, but you don't know that would have happened. It could have cratered 50%. We've seen plenty of IPOs do that. So for me, risk to reward's not there. That's more gambling, more speculative than anything else. So today we're officially in April. We're going to talk about April seasonality. We're going to talk about what I see coming next, what's coming down the pipe. And I'm going to give you guys a free win both ways trade. Don't let me forget to do that. I'm promising it to you right here, right now. Also, we'll have Jack joining in a bit. We just had Richard post in here about how he's been making money on Tesla. Jack's been making money on Tesla too. And interestingly enough, a lot of people right now hear Tesla and think, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Doge, MAGA, all that stuff. And it doesn't really matter if you're for that or against that. What's really cool about what Jack's found in Tesla specifically has nothing to do with who the CEO is or what they produce. It's something really unique in the options chain because the stock is so volatile, because it's oftentimes the most traded options in the world. There's a cool little niche that you can tap into on that stock. So he'll walk you through that here in a bit, as well as what he sees coming up there. Trader, I picked up 150 shares at $16 a share. Nice. There you go. So we got one person in on the Newsmax IPO. Love to see it. Let's go ahead and kick off today's class with the Telegram of the week, like we always do. I hope you're in Telegram. If you're not, you need to be in Telegram. I'm going to post a link right here. But every week, I just highlight a quick Telegram post I had that I really liked and enjoyed. And typically, I show the ones that worked out the best. In this case, I let you guys know when the stock market falls, look to insurance stocks. Insurance stocks like Progressive, right? Aflac, Allstate, AJG, BRO. Those are some good names for you. A couple bullet points here. Outside of just a swing trade, which we're in right now in Progressive, it's down slightly today. I just lost my screen. Progressive down slightly today, but let me pull this puppy up. So you can see I sent that telegram one of these days, up nicely from there. All-time highs up here. But look at all of these stocks right now. Remember, here, let's show the S&P. S&P 500, bam, not good, right? Not good at all. But let's look at these insurance stocks. Progressive, near all-time highs. AJG, at all-time highs. Aflac, nearing all-time highs. Brown, all-time highs, right? I can go on and on. These insurance stocks are red hot when the markets drop. Their counter market, I should say their counter market when the market's falling, typically speaking. If you look at 2022, you'll see the same thing. They also like to go up when the markets are going up. So here's three quick bullet points here for why I love insurance stocks for a long-term investment as well. Number one, go to Google and type in any of those tickers I just told you and say, what is the average annual return over the last 20 years for Progressive? You'll see each and every one of these tickers typically average 12 to 14% annually for the last 20 years. So the market normally gets 8, 9%. These are demolishing the stock market. They're cash cows. Another good proof point of this, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's firm, is at all-time highs. It's been absolutely parabolic. Well, Geico, we've all seen that commercial, right, with the little gecko on it. Geico is owned by Warren Buffett. You can't trade with Geico. It's inside Berkshire Hathaway, and that's a huge reason it's done so well. It's an insurance stock, an insurance giant. And again, number three here, go look at 2022. Test these tickers against a bear market and see how they did. Now, I've got a theory. If a recession comes, why do these stocks do good? Well, when the economy's slowing, yes, you're going to spend less on new iPhones. You're going to spend less at Lululemon on new clothes, but you're still going to pay your car insurance. You're still going to pay your home insurance. You can't skip on these bills. These are as close to guaranteed checks as there are out there for these insurance companies. They're great companies. They've gone up. They've been really strong and steady. Does that mean they're always going to go up? No, but they've been really great. Again, if you missed that pick, you missed out. Click that link I posted in the chat for you. That'll take you to Telegram where you can join my free channel where I post updates all the time. For the morning market upgrade date, again, we've been pretty mixed this morning. Let me go ahead and take a look now at where we're at. We've fallen slightly from here. Nothing too crazy. The morning market action. So I start my day at 5 in the morning. Let's pull it up here. Here's the S&P. I woke up and I said, oh, wow, markets are moving higher and higher. And then we had a little sell-off, I think, with the European news talking about how they're ready to battle back with tariffs. So, again, we're just getting some chop. Look, yes, we're down 0.7%, but really not much going on here over the last 12 hours or so. For reports this week, tomorrow, this is the big one. I need to move my arrow up here. I'll move 2 arrows for you guys. Big one tomorrow is the tariffs. Tomorrow is the Liberation Day, as it's called so far, and that's when the tariffs are going into effect. I'm going to give you guys a fun little play here to play off tariffs. But President Trump is speaking at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Who knows what he's going to say? I have no clue. Somebody knows. I'm sure they're going to make some money off of it, but what he says could really rattle the markets either direction. And that's why I'm going to give you one of these win both ways trades to take today to maybe bank some money for tomorrow. We also have unemployment rate on Friday and Powell speaking in the morning. And I need a haircut. My hair's starting to fall on my face. Need one badly. All right. Next week for the reports, we have CPI. Big report, and PPI. This is on Thursday and Friday morning before the markets open. CPI is basically our number one inflation metric. So if this is higher than expected, not good for the stock market. If it's lower than expected, very good for the stock market. And, Trump's goals, essentially, if we can get inflation down, the Fed is going to be more responsive to rate cuts. They're going to be more likely to cut rates, which is ultimately what President Trump wants. It'll be both people getting what they want, which will be good for the stock market. Right. Now, tomorrow we have Tariff Day, Liberation Day. Tariffs are going into effect. One little fun nugget for you. And again, to pump my own Telegram again. Posted this in Telegram. I don't know what Carvana's doing today. We've made some money off of it. I did a quick trade on stock as well. I made about 10% on the stock with a pretty large chunk, then sold it. And then I did some options as well. But one stock I really like right now is Carvana. Ticker is CVNA. I'll post that here in the chat. Again, I shared this in Telegram the other day. We've made some money off of it. This one has been very strong in this market. Let me just pull up a daily chart again. It's very volatile. I say strong. Look, I mean it went down huge. It's very very volatile, but it's been going up. It's been rebounding nicely when the S&P is back down here. The reason that I like Carvana right now and pay attention, what did Trump just say for tariffs the other day? What did we just have come across the board? Can anyone guess what the tariffs were? I'm giving you guys a hint here. Some popular automaker stocks. Look at General Motors, down like 10% in a couple of days. That's right, Jackie. Tariffs on cars. You were exactly right, Jackie. Jackie's on top of it. So Trump put tariffs on cars, which is going to affect the new car market. GM's going to be hurt. Ford's going to be hurt. All Toyota, Nissan, you name it. All of them are going to be hurt by this 25% tariff. Who is going to benefit from these tariffs on new cars? The used car market. Who is one of the biggest used car supplier in the world? Carvana. I think Carvana is going to get a lot of business if these tariffs stick, if they hold. And the longer Trump holds them, the more money is going to flow out of the new car market into the used car market, which is going to be really beneficial for Carvana. Other stocks that are going to do well, in my opinion, too. I'm going to post these in the chat. Oh, Jackie, you must have read my slide deck before. Jackie is already on top of it. She says, I think AZO will do great too. I just posted that in there. The car parts market. Here's AutoZone. I mean, this thing has been a rocket. It's an expensive stock, right? $3,800 a share. But if you've been paying attention, you can wrap this thing. So look, the call options are, what is that, $13,000? Is that legit? Wow, $13,000 for a call option, right? That's ridiculous. If you wrap it, let's see what we get. Still expensive. Wow. I wonder if they have earnings over that period. Nope. Well, you can not pay $13,000. Still about $2,000. Another one is O'Reilly Auto Parts. Look at this one. Another beauty of a stock. Another expensive stock. Let's see what the wraps look like for O'Reilly. Still $1,000. Still expensive. But you can even probably go further out of the money. Drop down your price if you want to as well. I don't have time to cover what I just did here. It's just a basic debit spread. It's going to drop the entry price for you down a ton. And then also at the same time, it's going to offset a lot of that time decay too. But these stocks look really good in the wake of tariffs. So Carvana, AutoZone, O'Reilly. Very, very good stocks to at least add on your watch list at the very least. All right. Again, this was a bonus that I shared in Telegram. So if you're not in Telegram, go ahead and jump in. Robert's asking, am I going to cover the Newton scanner? Yes, I will. I will do that here towards the end of today's class. For those of you who are new, and I'm just curious, anyone here new? Is this your first week? Say yes if it's your first week here or your first day here. I do these sessions every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Wow, a lot of yeses. All right, awesome. Wow, a lot of yeses. Okay, cool. So here's the deal. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, I do this live trade room. I start the first 30 minutes with kind of a big picture overview. Where are we on the stock market? Where do we think it's headed? What reports are coming up? What big news is coming up? Do we have earnings? All right. And then we boil it down to the sectors. What sectors are strong? And then we boil it down to individual stock picks, individual trades at the end of this class. So I will give you options trades. I will give you stock picks at the end. Right now, we're just kind of in the highlight view right now, top level, starting with the reports and some stocks that could benefit. Hopefully that makes sense. Jim, these sessions are great. Can't miss them. Thank you, Jim. Well, it looks like we have about 50 new people here today, so that is awesome. All right, we'll keep going. Charts of the week. Here's a fear chart for you. I like to give you guys a fearful chart, a neutral chart, and a bullish chart, so you guys can take your own information and do what you want with it. So here's the SPX, or the S&P 500. Everyone talks about the lost decade of the 70s, right? Stagflation, lost decade of the 2000s, tech bubble, right, through 2008. I mean, that was a lot more than a decade, actually, where the markets didn't actually gain ground, right? And down here, we're mirroring it with household percentage of financial assets and equities. Every time it gets above 40% of net worth into stocks, markets typically stall out, right? We see that here, and then it's circled again here. Could it be happening again? I don't know. Maybe. maybe not, but here's what I want you to notice. Let's say we do get a drop from here. This is not actually, this chart is kind of deceitful in my opinion. And this is me giving my opinion on it. Again, if you're fearful and you're a big bear, go ahead and take this and run with it. This is not actually a lost decade in my opinion. If you're nimble, if you knew when to exit, if you're planned ahead, actually buying here at the bottom, I mean, you are immediately in the green from there on. So yes, at the same time, stock were close to 40%. Our household equity was 40% in stocks, but you still could have made a lot of money. Same thing here, right? Even if you're buying here, it's just the peak to peak that people talk about with this. With that said, here you go. A lot of money into stocks. Could be scary. We'll see. On the other hand, for you bulls, for you people thinking that the stock market will go up, this is from Goldman. The Magnificent Seven, so Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Facebook, you name it, well, Meta. They now trade at their lowest valuation premium to the S&P in over 6 years. So right now, it's actually the cheapest time to get in a Mag 7 stock than it's been in 6 years, speaking relative to PE. So that's pretty cool, right? So if you're looking for a good buying opportunity and you thought, man, I should have bought back in COVID 2000, well, now relatively speaking, stocks, the Mag 7 stocks are actually cheaper on a valuation than they were back in 2020. So there you go. Good buy the dip opportunity, right? What about this one? Let's see what the S&P does typically. How does the S&P typically respond when March loses 3% or more? Right? So when March has at least a 3% drop, which it did, how does the S&P typically respond in April? Well, here's pre-World War II, so that's 1945 and previous. But now over the last 70 years, let's look at this. Every single time the markets have dropped 3% or more in April or in March, they have finished higher in April. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen, but 7 out of 7, pretty good, right? And almost always it finished higher for the year. Only 1 year within it was 2001 tech bubble. So that's cool. That's some bullish information that we might get a snapback here in April, right? The average is 2.5% on the S&P 500 across all years. And since World War II, over the last 70 years, we're looking at close to 6% return in just April alone. You apply options on it, you're getting much juicier return. So that's some bullish material for you as well. But now for you neutral folks, this is what's going to be interesting to me. This chart says decision time for the S&P. We're looking at the history of 10% S&P corrections. Here's us right now, 2025, right? We're like right about here. It says decision time is whether we're going to be in a recession and go lower or no recession and go higher. Something interesting to you or for you to see right here. On the average 10% correction, we still do have a positive retracement over the next 100 days or so, even if we're going to recession, even if we go no recession. This is just on average, but typically when we get a 10% drop, regardless of recession or not, the next 100 days, roughly speaking, are pretty bullish. Now, it doesn't mean every day's up, right? There's still some drops in here, but that's some good news for folks looking to even just get started right now with trading. Does this chart make sense? Does everything I've covered make sense so far? I'm just trying to give you guys nuggets each and every week. I call them the charts of the week in this section, just to give you guys fun little nuggets. I've always got cool things coming across my desk. I try and give you guys the best information I can. And here's another thing. Guys, feel free to take screenshots of this. Screenshot as much as you want. I'll even send the slide deck in Telegram after this class. If you're in Telegram, you can get a full copy of the slide presentation. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Dan, would CarMax be a good play too? Yes, it probably would. Let's see what CarMax looks like. What is the CarMax ticker? KMX. Oh, I tried CMX. Yeah, CarMax is up. It's not a beautiful stock right now, but it's definitely up big on the tariff news. What is that? 5-6% on the stock. I like Carvana better just looking at the charts. Here's CarMax. Here's Carvana. Obviously a much different look here. But both in theory would be good plays. All right, let's jump into the market overview. Last week's analysis again, been pretty spot on the money this year so far. I called the major pullback right about here, and it took about another week, but there it came, bam, and then I called a rebound on the 13th, which was the low until yesterday. But we didn't quite get to where I thought we were going. I said 585 is my magic number. I think we're going to pause at 585, go slightly lower, and then go higher from there. We didn't quite get there, right? We stalled out about 575 and we had this steeper sell off, steeper than I expected. However, we're still in play, and I'm going to talk you through why I'm still sticking with my guns here on this overall trend. So, no, it's not as strong as I was hoping, but I still think we're going to get a bounce from here. Fear and greed. Again, we are in extreme fear territory. This is just a measure that CNN does, which again, it's not political. It's just using market internals and then taking an average rating for them to see where we are. It looks at the VIX. It looks at the percentage of stocks above their moving averages. It looks at the junk bond meter. It looks at a ton of things and then just gives you guys a rating. Typically, when we're extreme fear, it's a great time to be buying, especially when you're looking out over the next 6 to 12 months. A lot of times, this means discount time in the markets. So we're back into extreme fear. Also, the put to call ratio, look what we're back to right now. We're back to that magic number I always talk about. We traded it this last time off the bounce and made some good money. And now the magic number is here again. Who here in the chat, I'm not going to go read everyone's response, but I hope a lot of you guys know what you're looking at when you see this and you get excited. So what you're looking at here, guys, is called the CPC. It's the put to call ratio. So is everyone here familiar with calls and puts? Basic options, calls, you think the stock's going up. Puts, you think stocks are going down. What this is just a ratio to give you a reading of how bullish or bearish are traders right now. Now, typically, stocks go up more often than they go down, right? 7 out of every 10 years, the stock market's going up, probably even more than that. So it's not surprising that typically the ratio here is about 0.7, 0.8 range, where more calls are being purchased than puts because stocks tend to go up. However, when we get these extreme readings here below 0.7, typically means that there's way too many calls being bought than puts, and we're probably overcooked, right? We saw that here in February, and that's when I called the drop about a week early, but we ended up getting it. And then on the flip side, when we get above 1, this 1 ratio, it's pretty much every time this reading above 1 happens, it's a great time to be buying stocks for a bounce. And this basically means more puts are being purchased than calls, which is kind of backwards thinking in a stock market that tends to go up more often than not. So if we check out what this means in the data, when we get these high readings on the put to call ratio, I showed you this the other week, but here is just some data for you. Since 2009, whenever we get a CPC reading of at least 0.93, so right now we're at 101, when we get at least 0.93 or higher, meaning more puts are being purchased than calls, and we are currently in a market correction where the markets are down at least 10% below their highs. Look at this. Over the next 6 months, markets have been positive 100% of the time with an average return, the median return of 13%. So very, very bullish. Over 12 months, 100% of the time with a very, very strong median return. So again, these little green arrows mark every time we see exactly what we're seeing right now. A market correction of at least 10% in the S&P and the put to call ratio weighing more towards the puts. You can see all the buy signals. Look, let me find one that isn't the exact bottom. So here might be a good example. This might be what we saw now. We got this the other week. We got an up signal. We made some money. Now we pulled back. Now we're getting the signal again. Could be a very, very good time to be buying stocks. Either way, over a 6-month trajectory, it's worked out every single time. Very interesting to me. Also, if we look at yesterday's candlestick, a nice little hammer candle here at the bottom. We opened way lower, very scary, hit fresh lows on the S&P, and then rallied so hard, 2% back during the day. If you were a day trader yesterday, you should have been making money left and right because there was a ton of bullish market action, a ton of opportunity. It was one of the best days to be a day trader. I'm not a day trader, so I didn't really take advantage of it. But for you day traders in here, and I know that there's day traders in here, it should have been an amazing day for you yesterday. But where else have we seen a candle like this before? A lot of these market bottoms. You'll see these open lowers, strong finish, open lower, strong finish, open lower, strong finish. So again, just another bullish sign here for us. Now that doesn't mean stocks are going to go higher and higher and higher to new all-time highs. I'm leaning that way. I think a lot of this news is priced in on the tariffs, but obviously we're still getting some chop, and it's a little bit weaker than I originally anticipated. So let's get under the market, under the hood, and take a look at the market health. Stocks above their 50-day moving average, which this basically gives us a bird's eye view of how many stocks are at or close to all-time highs. Right now, about 25% of stocks are at that level. And I should have zoomed this chart out more. I did it for you guys last time, but every time we get below 25% here, it has been a great buying opportunity on the S&P 500. Just means like 3 out of every 4 stocks are not near their all-time highs. For stocks trading above the 200-day moving average, similar story. However, this is more going to give us an idea: is the stock trading in a bull market or a bearish trend? Right now, we are in a bearish trend on the 200-day moving average. We need to see this really start to gain steam. I do not like that we coughed up all of our. The other week I told you buy it, buy it, buy it. We went higher. We started making our move back towards 50, which is where we want to be. 50 or higher. We have given up all of that already, just over the last week. So again, I want to see this by this time next week going back higher. If this starts to go lower, that's going to be not good news for us. But we're just looking under the hood and taking what we see. For seasonals, we're in April now. It's the most bullish month of the year, seasonally speaking. What this means is, on average, April is the best time of the year to be long stocks. You may have heard of the old saying, sell in May and go away, and this is why, right? So you sell in May, go away for the summer, buy here at the bottoms of September, and let the markets rip through a strong April. Take your profits in May and let this crap kind of clear itself out. So April, typically the most bullish time to be long stocks. If we're looking at a presidential seasonality, here's our blue line. This is where we are now. And I probably should adjust this slightly lower. But you guys get the gist of it. I'm trying to do my best of being an artist here, which I'm not. If you're new here, take a screenshot of this chart. This is a really cool chart. Basically, what we're looking at is all inauguration years for a president. So that green line is every 4 years on inauguration year. It doesn't matter if it's a returning president or not, right? That's that green line. That's the average year. Some chop at the beginning of the year, some lows in February going into March, and then we start to turn bullish in April and May. This red line here is if there's a new party. So obviously we went from Democrat to Republican this year. So this red line is going to be the average of what that looks like. Interestingly enough, take a look at this red line. Does that feel similar to what we saw so far this year, right? Uncertainty, bam, big drop, chopping around, right? We're getting some people saying they can't see my screen. Deanna, can you see my screen? Can everyone here in the chat see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen just fine, Graham.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I had a couple people posting in there that can't see it. Brad, it may be me pinned. You might have to say switch to screen sharing view. All right, I apologize for that, everyone. But it's very typical. New party, new changes, new policies, new executive orders. You should expect this volatility. This is on average. This almost always happens when a new party's involved. But what happens in April, things start to settle. They start to go higher. Does that mean every day is an update? No. Drop, rip, drop, rip, drop, rip, right? But look at this. Next 2 months tend to be a lot more peaceful out there. And then you get your sell in May and go away effect until later in the year. So right now, we're looking here April, May, looking very, very good. So for my outlook, it's the same as I've been saying for weeks. I just want to adjust this lower to compensate for the weaker drop. I told you last week, if we're going to lag, I'm just going to move my targets lower. So this is more so what I see now. We're right about here. If I were to draw it, I think we're going to get a move higher here for those that April bullishness pullback. And I think 585 is going to be our magic number. If we can't break above 585, that's not going to look pretty for May, June, and July, in my opinion. I think if we do break above 585, which has been our magic number for the last few weeks, we are going to see continued bullishness up to the 600 levels on the S&P. With that said, important note, if we do close below 547.50, which will be fresh lows for the S&P or the SPY here, then I think we're going to have to change and pivot our plans. We may be heading lower because that will be just a classic breakdown in the markets. So seasonality, all this data that I'm showing you, the put to call ratio, this all is our guide. It's our map trying to figure out where we're going to go next, but we need to be able to adapt. So if things change, which, obviously there's uncertainty in the markets, things can happen, right? If that happens, we need to then pivot our plan. But for now, I'm sticking with my guns. This is what I see coming over the next few weeks. A little bit weaker than I'd hoped for, but again, still this April bullishness coming up. Now, if we're going to look at a sector view here, let's take a look at this. Over the next few months, very bullish until we get to June, right? That sell in May and go away effect comes up soon. But if we're looking at April, greens across the board. I love it. That's every sector and seasonally what they typically do in each month. A very cool chart. Again, if you're new, I'll just clear this off. Take a screenshot of it. This is an awesome chart. You can use this every single year. Eventually, you're going to want to update the data. But this is, let's see, 35 years of data here, right? 35 years of data. Pretty good little scorecard to keep on your desk. So if you're wondering, hmm, this is actually, here's a really great example. Energy was really weak going into the year. It was terrible. But we looked at this scorecard. We said, oh man, February, March, April, energy's heating up. I flipped energy to one of my bullish sectors early March. If we're going to look at, I'll show you here in a second, energy is now the top sector in the market. It's been a perfect pattern here following this typical seasonality. So April, we're now April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke here. Every month is bullish, or every sector is bullish, seasonally speaking, in April. Now, for last week's pick on the sectors, here's what I told you the ones I like the best: energy, communications, which is like T-Mobile, that one that we've been trading over and over again. Uh, Financials, which has been a great stock. They had a big or stock sector. They had a big correction with the rest of the market. JP Morgan, Citibank, MasterCard, Visa all took a big jump with it. These are great stocks to be buying right now. They're bouncing back very nicely. Um, including AXP and a few others. Utilities have been very good to us as well. So these are the ones I've been sticking with, and let's see what happened week over week. These are kind of like our power rankings. Didn't move up, down. So in this example, Staples moved up 3 spots. Energy is now the top dog. It's beating Bitcoin now. Cool. Financials moved up a spot. Now my top ones still pretty much stayed the same, and these ones down here are kind of messing around, going lower, higher. So for my top and bottom sectors this week, I'm sticking with my guns. Same thing. I like energy. I like financials, communications, and utilities. Very strong sectors right now. So let's dive into the nitty gritty and let's get to some live trading here. I'm going to have to open up my notepad so we can take some notes, and I'll share some trades with you guys in the chat. Everyone excited to get to some live trading. So now, for those of you who are new, again, I do this Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Now I'm going to give you a few different trades. One is going to be the Apex top signal of the week. This is a weekly momentum breakout. A little bit longer hold time, typically about 6 weeks on average. I'm going to give you options to take advantage of it. Then I'm going to give you my hot sheet pick for the week. That's a seasonal stock pick that typically does really well. Now, why I like to cover the sector information first is because we want to make sure that these signals also line up with strong sectors. Think about it. If technology sector's in the dumps, I don't really want to be trading a stock in the technology sector because typically it's going to be weighted down by the rest of the stock in that sector. So I want to find a good sector and then good stocks inside that sector. And that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to give you stock and options trades. All right, Apex, top signal of the week. This is our weekly momentum breakout. I already told you O'Reilly is amazing, right? We all like O'Reilly with the tariffs. The used car market should stand to benefit. You know, obviously things can change. It's been it's consumer discretionary, but it's also kind of a staple stock for us. O'Reilly is, and that's an Apex signal breakout. So look at this. This thing's been a beast. Blue arrow up obviously means we're going long. It has not hit a stop out in over a year. So this is over a year now. It has not been stopped out once. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll call it 11 trades that have hit the profit target. 11 for 11 over the last year. We've got an open signal here and then a new open signal here with the profit target. Let me type this up for you. O'Reilly profit target. So if you want to trade the stock, profit target is 15.21. Stop loss is 12.39. And then I'm going to give you some options here. So this is if you want to trade the stock. Stacy, when I look at how do I know if it's ever been stopped out, I just really pretty much quickly glance and see if it's ever gone below any of these levels. So levels printed, never went below it. Level printed, never went below it. If you're actually looking at the chart, it will just show you like it'll cross through it and then vanish. Let me see. I'll pull up like I think Apple was stopped out the other week just to show you. It's like here. Here's an example where Apex had a signal on Apple. right? And it didn't hit the profit target, it came down here and stopped out. So you can see it cut through the stop out. That's how you'd see it, Stacy. Is Apex same as Newton? No, they're different. Um, this is a price action indicator for momentum. Let's see. O'Reilly, this is the stock for purchase. Yes, you can buy it. I'm going to give you guys some options here. I'm going to give you guys two Apex signals just so you know. The next one's going to be on AJG, an insurance stock. It's going to be much cheaper to enter. But I do want to do O'Reilly because we talked about it today. So I posted that one in there in the chat. Now let me give you guys some options here. Again, the call options on O'Reilly, very pricey. Very pricey here. If I'm going to go out, let me just close some of these windows. If we're doing May, actually, it's not too bad. Oh, wait, I'm on Apple. That's why. I'm like, wow, these are really cheap. So $5,000 for a call option. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it doesn't have earnings. Oh, it does have earnings. Shoot. Well, this might throw everything off. Let me just do a weekly one then, or the monthly. When was the earnings? Did I give an exact date? 23rd, so we should be safe here. So what I'm going to do is the 17th of April, 25 expiration. The volume here is light. This is pretty wide. We might not be able to get it. So this might be good for stock only, but if you wanted to trade a call option, I would do right here at the money. Just use a limit order though, because this is a wide. So the mid price is $29.65. Don't pay $3,300 for it. Let's see what the wraps are. Actually, this isn't too bad. We'll just set it and see if we get filled. If not, this is a good stock trade. So I'd be buying the 17th of April, 1420 call, and I'd be selling the 17th of April, 1430 call. And then let me just use a limit order. No more than $6 debit. So let me post this in the chat and then I'll walk you through it. Hey, Jack, good to see you. Sorry, I'll be wrapping up here in about 10 minutes and we'll talk Tesla.
Yeah, we could talk Orly. Have you looked at the long-term trend on that thing?
Oh, it's a beauty.
Like, look at like 5, 10 years.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
it's been amazing. And I think it's going to benefit from these tariffs on new cars.
Yeah. How long is that chart there? 1 year? Look at that.
That was a
thing.
3-year chart here.
Look at the 5 year. It's unbelievable.
Let me just back it up.
This thing just doesn't quit.
Yeah,
Look at that. The only other stock like that is AutoZone.
I know. That was the other one we talked about
Bizarre.
today too.
It's this craziest trend.
Yep.
That's your moneymaker right there, boy.
So O'Reilly here, we're going to trade it. Let me place this trade. So instead of paying $5,000, $4,000 per contract here, I'm going to pay $500. I'll just set a limit here of 540. It's bouncing around. I don't know if we'll get filled or not. What this means, filled right away at 540. So I'll make about $460 here. If O'Reilly closes the month, so we have all this time for O'Reilly to get here above my crosshairs. It barely has to budge. That's about a 90% return on investment, right? I paid 540. I'm going to make 460, right? If I just do some simple math here, let's see. 460 in profit, 540 invested, 85% return on investment, right? If O'Reilly gets right above here, not even that, right there. Do you see how little it has to move for us to make money? That's why I love using this type of trading. Again, I don't have time to cover it in detail how I'm doing my selection, but it's just a basic debit spread. So if you're trading the calls, you need O'Reilly to get way up here for you to break even. I needed to get here to make an 85% return on investment. So I got filled for 540. You could probably get filled for cheaper with how quickly mine went in, but let's keep on moving here. Yes, I used a limit order. Stacy, yes, I did do a wrap order. This will be posted for a replay. This class will be posted. And I will post the deck in Telegram as well. Next up, we have AJG, which is an insurance stock, right? We talked about financials being hot. We talked about insurance stocks being hot. So here's AJG. I'm going to type up the profit target and stop loss for you. Profit target here is 351. This is one we've traded week after week this year. This one in progressive. Here you go in the chat. If you want to buy the stock, bam, there you go. Nice little move there. As you can see, it's worked out time and time again over the last year. Let me go ahead and look at some options for AJG. Now, for those of you who want to trade basic calls, let me give you a call option here. I would do the May expiration. You're going to pay a bit more. That's why I don't like trading call options straight out. I like doing the spreads. They make a lot more sense, in my opinion, when you run the numbers. If you want to trade the basic call option, I'll give you this here. 16th May. I would do the 350 call, use a limit order, right? We always use limit orders. Leslie, the O'Reilly spread I posted here above at 1038. If you want to use a call option, there you go for AJG. If you want to use a spread, a debit spread, which you can see I already have a position here, so I'm not going to add one. But let me just select one here for you today. I want to pay more than $5 for this one, but let me type this up first, and then we'll talk shop about how it's going to work. AJG is the ticker, 17th of April expiration. You're going to buy the 340 call, and you're going to sell the 350 call. I would pay no more than $5 debit for this. Oh, Leslie can't see the chat history. Okay, let me post O'Reilly. Here's O'Reilly again one more time for you. All right, for AJG, so that means that it has to gain. So we have 17th of April, has to get above here. If you get a $5 debit, you're going to double your money. So if it gets to there by April 17th, you're going to double your money, 100% return on investment. In my opinion, much better than trading the calls. Elaine, would it be April or May? I would use May if I'm going to do the straight up call option. So if I'm just going to buy a call, I would use the May expiration. If I'm going to do the wrap order, I'm going to do the April expiration. So I posted both in there. That first one is just a straight up call, 16th of May expiration, 350 call. And that second one is the debit spread, which would be the 17th of April, buys you about 2.5 weeks for AJG to gain, what is that, 2%? So if AJG gains 2% over the next 2.5 weeks, you're going to make 100% return on investment. Again, use a limit order. Don't force a trade here. All right, 2 more things for you guys. Hot sheet pick of the week. You guys know I love this. It's seasonal picks on stocks. Right now, T-Mobile, which has been one that I've been sharing in Telegram over and over again. Look, I posted it just the other day. If you're not in Telegram, you got to join. Let me go grab that link one more time just to make sure. You guys got to be in Telegram. I'm posting updates all the time, so you don't have to wait for these Tuesday and Thursday 10 a.m. sessions. I put T-Mobile in there. It's a seasonally strong stock. It's in the communication sector, which we like. And the stock also has a very strong chart. And looks good. I'm not sure what it's doing today. Hopefully we got a little dip today. We can buy it. Okay, 1% dip. Nothing crazy. But if you're going to trade T-Mobile, 19-day hold time. Again, I'll give you the basic call options. And then I'll give you the debit spread as well, which is what I like to trade. So if you want to trade the call options on T-Mobile, it's a 19-day hold time, which would put us at about April 18th. And you would be buying 16 May. This is if you want to trade the call options I would probably do the 260 strike, to be honest. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. If you want to go to 270, you can, but you're going to have a lot more time decay fighting against you. Here's the basic call options for T-Mobile. Again, a beautiful chart. We don't have earnings till the end of the month. Let me zoom out a bit. Look at this one. It's been a beast. Communications has been a beast, right? One of the strongest sectors, one of the strongest stocks in that sector, and it's also seasonally bullish. Now, I'm going to do the wrap order on it, and I'm going to do it for the April 17th exit as well, just to give myself to kind of marry up with that seasonal date, right? I said it's bullish through the 18th of April. Well, that happens to be a Saturday. Can't trade on a Saturday, so I'm going to place this trade to expire on that Friday. Let me check some pricing here. Trying to get us a good price. All right, I would do this one, which I'm going to type up. T-Mobile, ticker's TMUS. You're going to buy the 262.5 call, sell the 267.5 call. You want to get around a 250 net debit. April 17th. Here you go. This is for T-Mobile if you want to trade the spread. It's not right now. The mid price is okay. So now it's moving with us. And what this is going to mean, let me go ahead and see if we get filled. It's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, filled right away at 250, so you can probably get a cheaper price. If T-Mobile, it's got all this time to close above here. Do you guys see where my crosshairs are? So if T-Mobile over the next 2.5 weeks gets above there, I'm going to double my money. You can't do this with regular call options. You can't even get close to this kind of result with regular call options. That's why I love doing these spreads. Jack is the spread king. But hey, this is a really, really cool trade here on T-Mobile. It's there for you in the chat. Now, in just a minute, we're going to talk through Tesla, why Jack likes Tesla right now. And it's not for political reasons. It's not for the CEO. It's not because they make EVs or anything like that. It's something very specific with the options, the volatility in the stock, and how that relates to the options. Jack, I believe you said it's one of the most traded options in the world. Tesla's options are.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's what
crazy
makes that.
because the stock isn't, but the options are. And that's a very strange anomaly. And
That is
speaking of
interesting.
spreads, I just wanted to dial it back a second. Did you ever meet Tony Saliba?
I have a few times.
So he was in the book True Market Wizards, and member of the board, the CBOE board,
Mm-hmm.
and I just remember talking to him and how much he loves spreads, like you're doing right there. That's his favorite strategy, you know. And the way he comes out of it is he'll buy a 3 lot or 6 or 9 or whatever, and then he'll sell one part when he's up 50%, one part 70%, and then let the third part ride. But I love what you're doing there. Those are really high probability trades you just gave out.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
love it too. When you guys run the numbers, you'll never trade this another way again. Spreads are the way to go.
Hmm.
You get to offset time decay risk. You get a lot more bang for your buck. And now we're just going to close out real quick here, guys, with two Newton picks I like. I'm not going to give you the options here. I'll let you guys figure that out on your own. If you guys have seen my wrap order class, you know how to pick them. If you haven't, just go watch a recording later today after we talk about Tesla. But two Newton stocks I like right now. Where'd it go? All right, here we go. We like energy sector. We like utilities. Well, let's start with Southern Co. Ticker SO. Been a very nice stock. You can see when Newton flips green, it's gone up. Well, good news for us. Newton just flipped green on SO for us today. So Newton bullish trade. SO is the ticker. Why do we like Southern? Well, it's been a great stock. Momentum is above average, and it's also utility stock. So utilities is one of the strongest sectors out there, seasonally strong. SO is a good ticker right now. Secondarily, another one I really like is Duke Energy. Look at this one too. Newton flips green, stock goes up. Newton flips green, stock goes up, right? Doesn't always work. There's losers too. But look, green, stock goes up. This is an energy stock. We love energy right now, right? It's the strongest stock or strongest sector out there in the market right now. Well, we just got an energy on Duke Energy. So Newton bullish. We also have Duke. Those are my two picks for you today from Newton on the long side. And I'm not going to trade something short today. I don't want to force anything. We've done enough trading here. I want to get right into Tesla. Jack, I want you to talk us through how you're able to make an ugly chart like this, right? Like this isn't a pretty chart. Tesla's not going up and to the right every day. Not a pretty chart, but you've turned it into a hidden gold mine. So I'm really excited to see what you have prepared there.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Uh, the craziest thing about Tesla, there's a lot of crazy things, but what we're doing here is just taking advantage of the volatility. And the best part is, as long as Tesla makes a 1 to 2% move in a little over a week, we're golden. Very simple strategy. Not about Elon. Not about the car. I don't care if the Tesla goes to 1,000 or to $10. The strategy we use works great, and it's so super clean. We get a little signal, take the trade, and then we're off to the races. Kind of what you're doing, kind of like what you're doing here, but not based on the trend, just based on the volatility of the options. Very unique to Tesla.
I love it. Well, we're gonna go ahead and pull that up here in just a moment, guys, in just a minute or two. I did have some in the chat. I totally forgot to give you guys the win both ways trade, as I'm calling it. Obviously, we have Trump speaking tomorrow with the tariff news. So I'm going to put a speculative trade on to try and play off this volatility where if stocks go way up, way down, doesn't matter. As long as we get a big move, we should get paid. So if you guys are ready for that, I'm going to put that here in the chat. You can enter this as two separate positions, or you can enter it on all one ticket. That's what I'm going to do, is look to get it all one ticket. But again, this is going to be a little bit more of a complex trade. So if you're new to this, don't freak out. You can always pass. We'll do more of these in the future. But this will be a fun way to trade the volatility for tomorrow's event. Again, we're going to need about a 1% move in either direction from here to make about 40, maybe 50% on our money, depending on what we get filled out here. Let me type this up, though, and I'll post in the chat, and then we'll get rolling with the Tesla trades and opportunities for today. So this is trading at a 61-cent debit. This is a win both ways trade. Again, if this freaks you out when I post that in the chat, don't worry. Catch the recording. Walk through the trade, simulate the trade. So there we go. It's a 60-cent net debit right now, 58 cents. And if the stock market moves about 1% in either direction from here, again, we got some crazy news tomorrow. You should be able to sell it for about $1 on expiration. So let me walk you through that profit. That'd be a 40-cent profit on a $60 entry, about 67% profit potential. If we get a 1% move in either direction here, based on what I just shared with you guys in the chat, it's now at 63 cents, 62 cents. So you can run your numbers there. But again, a cool little trade where we don't need that much of a move. We just need about a 1% whipsaw either way before tomorrow. And we can make some money there. And again, we're expecting volatility with Trump speaking. So with that said, Raleigh, are you going to run the class that we had yesterday, or what is the plan here?
Yeah, the plan at this point in time is to go ahead and just do the session that you did yesterday, which was just excellent, excellent.
Awesome.
So from that standpoint, Jack, if you want to do a little preamble or an intro into what's going on, then I'll take over the screen right with that very important disclaimer.
Yeah. Great.
Yep. And actually, sorry, I'm going to ruin it again. I did have a typo here, and you guys caught it. It should be sell. Let me just type this up one more time for you guys. I apologize for the delay. We're going to buy the 555 put, sell the 554 put on that trade. So here we go. Buy, sell, buy, sell. All right. Just copy and paste that, put it in your notes. Look at it later today. Honestly, you'll get a better feel if you wait till later today anyways. Let's go ahead and tune into this class and talk about Tesla, the opportunity coming up right now, even with an ugly chart like this, how to turn it into a hidden gold mine, not because what the CEO has to say, not because what they're selling, but just because of a unique niche within the options market. It's one of the most traded options in the stock market. Oftentimes it's the number one most traded option. And that creates a cool little loophole that we can take advantage of week in and week out. So Raleigh, go ahead and hit that recording that Jack and I made for you guys, and stay tuned. Hey, Michaela. Hey, William from Vancouver. Mark's worked with Jack before.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Well, guys, we're going to talk about a pretty cool strategy that really is pretty perfect for today's environment. Obviously, a lot of volatility right now, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Like I said earlier, typically people get scared. They want to hit the sidelines. But like Jack said, you don't make any money when you're on the sidelines. So we're trying to tee you up with the best strategy for you to take advantage of right now in this environment. Now, obviously, we can't make any future earnings claims. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. Now, the trades from today's data set are from historical data with a 25% win rate or average winner, per trade in 6 days, with an 81% win rate and an average winner of about 54%. So these are pretty big, juicy cash flow returns here. Now, each and every trade targets roughly $2,709 in income based on a $5,000 starting stake. And every example is based on that unless otherwise stated. However, you don't need that much to get started. The average cost per trade that we're going to show you today is less than $250 per contract. So big account, small account, doesn't matter. This can work for you. Obviously, we can't guarantee any specific future results as there's always risks in trading. So be smart. Don't ever over leverage yourself. If you're starting out, feel free to start small. You can always build an account over time. Now, my name is Graham Lindman, and just recently, Jack Carter told me that he had a unique way to hijack one of the most popular stocks on the planet. No, it's not a matter of guessing on the next investment super cycle or betting on a risky earnings play. He claims as long as you deploy a certain type of trade on Tesla before the end of the week, anyone could have a shot to target right around $2,709 in just a matter of days. But that's not even the best part. Unlike most methods out there, you don't even need to know when to exit this special type of trade. That means you don't need to stare at the charts and you don't really need to even click any extra buttons. Once the trade is activated, we can set back and let it do its work for us automatically. Automatically. I love it. For example, let's take a look at what happened back in October. Now, let's say someone started out with 5K ready to invest. Keep in mind, back then, the market was more uncertain than it had been in years, right? We had stock and economic fears exploding, kind of like right now. And most of the investing community was fretting a recession, returning inflation, and the elections. You guys remember these headlines. However, folks following along with the all-new Tesla payout program could have tuned out all of that noise, and on October 24th, taken about 2 minutes to place a quick trade the way that Jack does on Tesla, and come back 4 days later to see an extra $2,600 automatically deposited into the account. Not bad, right? But then the next week came, and you could have hit a few buttons to set the new income position, and this time it blew past that goal, $5,434 in this Tesla payout. And we get to place this trade over and over again as long as we get the green light each week. Like the very next one, November 7th. We're talking back to back to back here, 2,600 on Tesla. And then again, the following week, place the trade. Tesla kind of chops around, doesn't really go anywhere. Bam, $3,043 in the Tesla payout. Now that's extra cash that could have gone towards the groceries, maybe the mortgage, or even the savings account. All from clicking a few buttons each week and watching as the position automatically closed out just days later. Now, of course, I want to be the first to remind you here, not every trade will be a winner. You guys know that. In fact, losers are part of the game too. So don't over leverage yourself with too much risk on the line. That would be a recipe for disaster. Now, luckily, Jack's Tesla payouts have been hitting with an 81.2% accuracy rate according to the data. And again, there's winners, there's losers, but look how those winners really stack up. That would have been no different than winning 4 out of every 5 weeks. And that even includes during some of Tesla's worst drawdowns, like we saw at the beginning of this very year. So with odds like that, it would have been very difficult to blow up a count, as long as you're consistent and keep swinging the bat. Now, we're talking about Tesla today, and you might be a Tesla bull or you might be a Tesla bear. But as you will soon see, my special guest, Jack Carter, he doesn't really care if the share price goes to $1,000 over the next few years or if it goes all the way down to $10. It doesn't matter to him. That's because there's something very unusual about the way that Tesla trades. You can't replicate this success on any of the other popular tickers out there. It doesn't work on Apple, it doesn't work on Amazon, not Nvidia. None of them lend way to this unique phenomenon. So if you're looking for a new way to trade, one that can simplify your approach, right? Just boiling down to one stock, and it's designed to amplify the results, then look no further. Because in the next few minutes, Jack Carter will walk you through exactly how these Tesla payouts work. He'll show you the basic trade that we can place each and every week, plus a special filter for only validating the most promising payouts with 80% historical accuracy. But not just that, he'll even invite you to trade the next Tesla payout opportunity right away, targeting another $2,709 payday this very week. So now let me introduce you to the man behind it all. His name is Jack Carter, and you may know him as the Income Ace. Now, not only did he successfully run his hedge fund with 0 losing months on record, where he moved over $1 billion as a market maker, but he also locked in an audited 286% annualized return. There you see the audit right there. Fast forward to today, he's been helping out thousands of folks just like you navigate the financial markets. Here's some of the top students. Olin wrote in, account has grown $1,200. No losing trades, he's 5 for 5. Leon just got started and he says, Jack, I'm happy with what you are doing. I think you are terrific. Elena G said, I think it's awesome. Started with $4,000. I now have $12,000. Charles B, a really nice story here, says you opened my eyes to a different type of trade. Very high win rate, putting a couple of trades on per week, earning about $1,000 on average. And just doing that, sticking to it, being consistent. Charles is up $18,000. But today, Jack is doing something he never thought he would. He's leveraging a special phenomenon within Tesla stock to hijack typical income methods for 10 times the results in the same time frame. And here's the key, without even needing to know when to exit the position. So Jack, why don't you walk us through how it works and how we can jump in on the next Tesla payout as soon as this very week?
Well, thank you, Graham, for that introduction, and thanks for helping me get this new project up and off the ground. I haven't been this excited about something maybe in my entire life because starting today, we have an opportunity to take my number one way of income trading, one that's completely changed my outlook on investing, and compound it with one of the most powerful market forces I've ever seen. Now, before we dive in, I want to be the first to remind you that not every trade will work out. There's bound to be winners and losers, good weeks and bad ones. And that said, when I got the report back from my team, I was absolutely stunned. An income method that would have won more than 4 out of every 5 trades where the typical payouts are 10 times the typical ROI, giving us a shot at $2,709 each week on one single stock alone. And if you would ask me 5 years ago, I tell you that something like this could never exist, and definitely not at the win rate it's currently showing. But thanks to some shocking data my team and I stumbled across in Tesla's options chain, it's not only possible, but we get these opportunities week after week with a basic income trade as long as we get the green light. Now, Graham, you already showed folks what they could have seen in October and early November. But let's take a close look at what you would have seen the following week. Now, keep in mind that in November, people were more uncertain than ever before. And as a matter of fact, there was a record amount of fear as the number of put option buyers exploded. Now, of course, none of that really mattered when it comes to the Tesla payouts because you could have tuned out all that noise and simply placed a quick trade week after week all month long. Thursday, November 21st, set the trade and let it go to work for you, $2,608 in Tesla payout. Then the following week, November 27th, place the trade. And when it all worked out, $2,812 Tesla payout. And as I'll show you, as long as the position is activated before the end of the week, you don't really need to know when to even exit the trade. That's the cool thing. We just set the same Tesla payout trade up time and time again. Like the very next week, Thursday, December 5th, placed the trade, and automatically a few days later, we're automatically closed out with a $2,462 Tesla payout.
Jack, I want to stop you right there because this is a really, really big deal. Now, we know this. For the last few years, we've seen some of the hardest working Americans getting punched in the face by inflation, and it's still happening. That's forced some retirees to head back to work, or a lot of people are picking up second jobs and savings accounts dropping to record lows. Now, I don't know about you, but I think some of us thought by now we'd surely be on the other side of this chaos, right? This was supposed to be done like 2 years ago. However, in 2025, things are worse than anyone could have ever imagined. And now there's a lot of recession fears ahead of us as well. Meanwhile, credit card debts are at record highs. I saw something today, Jack. Mortgage delinquencies are now at highs above the 2008 delinquency rate.
Not good.
Yep. And many people are behind on their car payments more than ever before. It's safe to say that it's practically impossible to keep up with the ever costs of living anymore. But between those last 3 Tesla payouts, that could have been an extra $7,883 hitting the bank for folks following along. And it could have hit the account automatically as long as you guys had the trade set up. Now, an extra $7K in the bank might sound massive to you. For others, you might not even notice it in there. But either way, it's a needle-moving amount of cash, especially considering that it would have come in the door in under 1 month's time and also with minimal effort. All from taking the same trade on the same stock over and over again.
Graham, like I said earlier, it's quite possibly the most promising data that I've ever seen in my 30-plus years of trading. And I can't wait to kickstart your journey with these Tesla payouts today, with the new trade alert going out as soon as this week. We're going to do that live. And as a matter of fact, in the next few minutes, I'd like to invite you to follow along if you'd like, targeting right around 2,709 over the next few days. Now, while I could never promise any future gains, given the 81.25% hit rate from my study, I'm really confident in this next trade. And what makes these Tesla payouts really special is we don't need the broad market to finish higher for the week to get paid. Shoot, we don't even need Tesla to finish higher to hit our payday. How cool is that? Just like what would have come next in December. Now remember, inflation was ramping back up and the Fed was completely changing their course on rate cuts, causing the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow to take one of their worst tumbles of the entire year. Now again, let's imagine $5,000 invested. Well, folks in the S&P 500, they would have lost $175. But anybody trading your standard call options, they would have been out the full $5,000. Now, Graham, you could have frantically tried to keep up with the fear and greed headlines like a lot of folks do, or you could have blocked all that noise out and simply set your Tesla payout trade before the end of the week. Then maybe hit the cabin for a quiet weekend, unplug from the busy world with your friends and family. And sure enough, Tesla paid out nicely, $2,500 Tesla payout. And then the next week, it could have been the same story. December 19th, taking 2 minutes to place the trade on Tesla. Maybe this time it's a few days helicopter skiing up in Blue River, Canada. That's always fun. And frankly, you could have been doing whatever it is you enjoy the most because once again, you would have booked another great win even while Tesla shares dropped. $2,500 Tesla payout.
Jack, that's another $5,000 in payouts over just 2 weeks, all while the markets were getting pummeled. You guys saw that big drop there. And that last one would have automatically closed out on December 24th, which you guys know is Christmas Eve. Now imagine that. Imagine taking the grandkids out shopping for Christmas with an extra $5,000 in hand. And that extra cash isn't even including the 7 other winners that folks could have hit in the weeks leading up to that.
Hey, Graham, the data shows some incredible possibilities with these Tesla payouts. But you all know, like any strategy, there's bound to be winners and losers along the way. And to be extra transparent, there was one loser over that 3-month stretch. But anyone who stuck with it, invested just say $2,500 without any compounding, they could have scored $12,031 in Tesla payouts, including the one loss. Now, somebody twice as confident, starting with $5,000, they would have really cashed in $24,062 in Tesla payouts off $5,000.
That's amazing. So, Jack, to be clear, as long as the trade was placed before the end of the week, you could have completely ignored the media. You could have tuned out the herd, what everyone else was doing, and instead spent time actually living life, maybe on the beach or catching a little baby shark there, like I see. And if everything worked out, watch as the initial investment automatically closed out for another great win. In this case, we're talking about north of 20 grand in just a few short weeks. That's powerful stuff there.
I can't wait.
That would have been no different, folks, than pocketing right around $8,000 in Tesla payouts per month. That's a hefty chunk of change. Now, I know that's not retire overnight type of money, and that's not what we're talking about today, but that would have been enough to double the monthly income for the average person. The average person makes $4,000. 1 month with Tesla payout project here, on average $8,021. And folks could have done it without breaking a sweat or spending an extra minute in the cubicle, giving folks a little more freedom in their day-to-day life and hopefully a little less stress too. Again, no complicated planning, no boring stock reports, and no burning the midnight oil. So, Jack, can you share a little bit more about how this is all possible? And of course, how we can set up the next Tesla payout opportunity targeting $2,709 this very week?
Graham, you got it. Now, when it comes to these Tesla payouts, I'm not talking about buying on a pullback or spotting a momentum breakout on Tesla stock or really trying to time up any big directional move at all. These repeatable $2,709 opportunities are all thanks to a unique way to hijack a little known feature hidden within the options chain. You see, something special about Tesla options is that they're frequently the most traded options in the entire world. Not only does that give us amazing liquidity on our trades, allowing us to enter the position with ease, but more importantly, since Tesla is such a fast moving large cap stock, the implied volatility is sky high. In other words, since Tesla stock routinely makes such large daily moves, the premiums on the options are much juicier than what we could get from Apple, Amazon, or Nvidia. And it's these extra large premiums that make today's opportunity all possible. Now, typically, when I hear about volatility, I run away as far as possible, and that's because I'm not a risk taker. However, thanks to brand new data that my team and I worked tirelessly on, for the first time ever, we're now able to target these excessive premiums on Tesla options with extremely high accuracy, handing us 5 to 10 times the typical income method payouts around 80% of the time. And that includes times when Tesla stock was taking a tumble, which is great news for anybody concerned about the economy or where the stock market sits right now. For example, take a look at what happened in May. On May 2nd, folks could have placed a quick trade when my system gave us the go ahead. But this time, over the next few days, Tesla stock dropped north of 7%. Now, most folks would have been freaked out and likely lost their entire investment. However, with my way of trading these Tesla payouts, the position would have automatically closed out with a $2,500 Tesla payout. And it's the same story in March. Folks would have entered on March 30th, and from March 30th through April 14th, Tesla shares fell nearly 10%. Again, most traders would have seen their options get totally wiped out, and that includes the ultra safe income methods too. But with my way of trading these Tesla payouts, it didn't matter one bit that Tesla stock was falling.
Okay, Jack, I need to see what you're doing here. Generating these large premiums while Tesla's moving higher, obviously that makes sense to me. Everyone understands stock goes up, we make money, right? But having that same type of outcome, even when Tesla was falling, that's unheard of. So, Jack, are you maybe shorting Tesla stock, maybe buying puts, hoping it moves lower?
Nope, these Tesla payouts have nothing to do with betting on the stock to fall.
Okay, maybe these are out of the money naked options that you're selling.
Not at all. We always know our maximum risk before placing a single trade.
Well, Jack, whatever you're doing, I'm going to need you to walk me and everyone here through it step by step because I've never seen anything like this before. And again, it's not like you're going for measly 5, 6, 7% returns either, where 5K might pay $300. With these Tesla payouts you're showing us, 5K invested returns roughly $2,709 on each of the winners. Like you said at the beginning, around 50% on average. That's nearly 10 times better than traditional income methods. So, Jack, how is this all possible?
Well, Graham, I could walk you through it, but it'd be a lot easier to just show you. Now, take a look at this candlestick chart of Tesla. Does that look like a stock you'd probably want to own? I mean, probably not, right? But here's the thing. What if I told you that this chart action on Tesla was actually a hidden gold mine? You see, I'm deploying a very unique set of options that don't rely on big bullish moves where the stock needs to finish higher. All I need for my trade to pay out is a move of around 1 to 2% or more at any point within the next week and a half. Meaning Tesla can go up, down, or nowhere over that 2-week period. But as long as it makes a 1 to 2% jump at any point during that time period, the brokerage should automatically cash us out with a win and deposit the winnings into the account. $2,709 Tesla payout. Normally, right around that $2,709 on average.
So let me get this straight. You don't actually need to predict where the stock is ultimately going to end up for these Tesla payouts to hit?
Graham, that's exactly right. It doesn't matter how ugly the chart might look or if you've ever glanced at the chart at all. As long as we get that 1 to 2% move at any point during the 10-day period, our brokerage should automatically cash us out and pay us right around $2,709 in extra income, even if the stock eventually drops. And get this, because Tesla is such a volatile stock, it's not at all unusual for it to make a 1 to 2% move in a day or two. That happens all the time, meaning we're oftentimes paid and out of the trade in only a few days, sidestepping a lot of market risk. And that's how folks could have won 4 out of every 5 trades. Now, a prime example of this would be what would have happened in January. Had you taken 2 minutes to set up the Tesla payout on January 16th, you would have watched as we hit the target the very next day and smiled extra big as $2,500 was automatically posted into the account without clicking any buttons, even as the stock eventually sold off. Or how about our trade on August 15th? It was the same story. Click a few buttons to set the trade. And while most folks were getting frustrated watching the market chop around all over the place, anyone using my Tesla payouts method could have collected another handsome payday only 4 days later.
Jack, this seems absolutely unheard of. And to be extra clear, you're saying as long as Tesla makes around a 1 to 2% move, the brokerage should automatically cash you out, even if you're not paying attention, even if you're not online, even if it's not up on your computer?
Graham, that's exactly what I recommend. Once the trade is set, there's no use staring at the charts, watching it all day long, or even worrying about it. And that's actually how a lot of folks really cripple their accounts, by overthinking their trades and making rash decisions out of fear. Now, I like to set the Tesla payout trade up, then throw my phone into the drawer. Go catch some fish. Go have a good time. Spend some time with the grandkids. That's my favorite thing. Take the motorcycle out for a spin or try out some new cigars. Because once I'm in the position, I let it do the work for me, knowing that it's all worked out about 81% of the time. And that includes during some of Tesla's best years and during some of Tesla's worst years, too. Now, we just keep swinging the bat and knowing that as long as Tesla makes that normal 1 to 2% move during the holding period, we should be golden. For example, take a look at what folks would have seen in September. Thursday, September 5th, anybody could have set a quick trade, knowing that all we needed was a small move at any point over the next over the next week and a half to hit our goal. And sure enough, even with a scare early on, Tesla did just that. And folks could have been automatically cashed out, even if we're in the middle of taking an afternoon nap, which I'm often guilty of. And then the following week, Thursday, September 12th, we just keep rolling. Folks would have set the trade, then left the phone under the pillow, go enjoy your life. And sure enough, only a few days later, Tesla smashed through the target. We didn't even have to be there. And anyone following along could have seen another wonderful automatic payout. Now, again, I really don't care where Tesla ends up in the long haul. It doesn't matter to me if the stock is trading at 1,000 by the end of the year or if it's trading below 100, even $10. Because when my system gives me this special green light, which it does around 2 to 3 times per month, I can set the trade and forget it. That's because Tesla's price fluctuates so much on a regular basis, and that gives us a really great chance to hit that profit target during the 10-day window, even if shares end up tumbling after we hit the automated exit target. For example, the very next trade that you would have taken, Thursday, September 19th, it was the same story. Click a few buttons to set the trade. Anyone following along could have watched as we hit the target just days later and jump for joy as $2,500 was automatically posted to your account without you clicking any buttons, even as the stock eventually sold off.
Jack, I'm absolutely blown away by this. Having a real shot to cash in while most folks are losing money or earning next to nothing, or maybe on the sidelines, well, that definitely sounds appealing to me to say the least. But doing it without needing to know when to exit makes it so
Yes.
much better. And of course, it's not like you need the stock to go down. It works when the stock goes up too, like you've shown us dozens of times today. So, Jack, I want in, and if I wanted to set up my first Tesla payout, how can I do that?
Well, Graham, obviously you can't go blindly pick any options out there. If that were the case, everybody would be doing it by now. And I actually don't trade it every week, only when the opportunity is primed with high odds. You see, my Tesla payout program is designed to only give us entries based on a setup that's historically paid 81.25% of the time. Now, typically, there's about 2 to 3 opportunities each month, or in other words, around 30 opportunities per year, each one targeting right around that $2,709 on average in about a week's time. You just have to know which trades to place. And that's why I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to deploy your first Tesla payout right away, so that anybody can start using this brand new method to help target some extra income this very week. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or if you're young or old. Anyone is welcome to get started today. You see, I've put together a step-by-step report to walk you through exactly how to set up your first trade with just a few clicks of the mouse. Inside the alert, it'll include the full details with the exact area to how the automated targets work, So you can start using this technique in your account right away, today. And once you get your hands on this step-by-step walkthrough, you'll be shocked at how clear-cut it really is. You'll immediately be able to start using it each and every week if you want to. Now, let me assure you one more time that this has nothing to do with risky naked options. It's not some sort of expensive straddle or strangle either. Nothing like that. As a matter of fact, you could have set up each and every one of these Tesla payouts that I've shown you today with as little as $250. So, of course, it's okay to start small and scale over time. And after placing one or two of these Tesla payouts for yourself, it'll become second nature. Just like the data shows with the trade back on June 6th, after just hitting a few buttons, you could have trade with the trade locked and loaded, and that's all there really is to it. Set the trade, then walk away. And collected Tesla income hands-free as the broker would have clocked you out automatically a few days later. $3,750 Tesla payout here. Then folks would have done it again the very next week. We don't stop. June 13th, take a quick minute to make sure the Tesla payout is set. Then let it work for us. $2,857 Tesla payout. Now, of course, any regular brokerage account will do the job. Schwab, E-Trade, Robinhood, Webull, you name it. Or if you have an approved 401k or IRA, that should work too. And if you want to see just how powerful these Tesla payouts are with your own eyes, I'd like to invite you to jump in on the next Tesla payout with us, targeting an extra $2,709 as soon as this coming week. I can hardly wait. I'm going to give you the exact options, criteria, entry, exit, and automatic target to, all dialed up and spoon-fed to you on a silver platter. That way you can follow along if you'd like to. Watch over my shoulder, copy and paste the trade in a matter of minutes. And today, the folks out there can claim access to this special briefing and the newest trades, all by subscribing to the all-new service, Tesla Payout Program. Now, the best deal expires today. And this service is solely dedicated to targeting extra income thanks to my new way of hijacking specific options on Tesla for what could be huge profits without knowing when to exit. And I'm happy to report that after analyzing over 100 opportunities, the final study shows Tesla Payout Program is small account friendly, $2,709 automated target based on a $5,000 investment, and an 81.25% success rate with built-in risk management. In just a moment, I'll show you just how incredibly powerful that can be for folks tuning in right now, whether you've been investing for years or just getting started. Now, if you take one of the limited memberships today, which I want you to do, then every single week it triggers, I'll give you my very best Tesla payout income opportunity, one that I'd personally recommend to my closest friends and family, and each one based on the same method that targets $2,709 on average every week there's a setup. And I'll be holding nothing back. In each Tesla payout alert, I'll break it all down for you step by step. The ticker, when to place the trade, the options criteria, the entry and exit, it's all in there. Each income alert will have clear instructions on how to place the trade, and I'm going to do all the heavy lifting to find each income opportunity for you. You'll just read each alert and follow along if you choose. Just like what would have come next after the back-to-back winners I showed you in June, this one on June 20th, I would have sent members the trade alert right to your inbox, and anyone who took the trade could have clocked out and worked on the short game, hit the lake with some friends, and days later noticed an extra $2,500 sitting in the brokerage account. And don't feel like you need to be sitting next to your computer all day long. Don't do that. I'm going to post the trade each Thursday, okay, around 2 p.m. Eastern time. That way you have plenty of time to get in before the end of the week. And I want your experience with the Tesla Payout Program to be as hands-free as possible. Alongside the email alerts, I'll also be including cell phone and telegram alerts, so while you're out and about, you can always take advantage. Just like when the next week rolled around, Thursday, June 27th, we don't stop. You would have gotten an email, take the trade if you choose, and sure enough, we do it again. Anyone would have gotten in on this one, could have pocketed $2,800 in extra cash automatically.
Jack, after those two trades alone, That could have been $5,300 in extra income. I'm just sitting here imagining what the folks out there would have done with an extra $5,300. Maybe paid some extra principal off the mortgage. That's not a bad idea. Or
No.
stashed away some cash for the next big vacation. It is heating up outside. Time to get
Yes.
outside. Or maybe surprise your grandkid with some extra savings in the 529 college plan.
Hey, Graham, those are all great choices to have. And it's amazing the types of opportunities that can come up when you're not spending all your time stressed out about finances. And that's a huge burden for folks right now. Now, of course, I'll be keeping track of the performance for you so you can easily see how good your results look compared to the S&P 500.
Well, Jack, it sure looks like you're doing everything you can to make sure that the new members have exactly what they need to succeed. And again, guys, between those last two trades, we're looking at $5,300, $5,300 in extra income. And we're not talking about buying NVIDIA back in 2018 or something that happened years ago. These opportunities just happened recently. And that's after only two trades. As a member of the Tesla payout program, you'll be getting up to 30 more this very year. So, Jack, I have to know, will new memberships cost around $5,000 per year?
Well, Graham, for the folks who miss out on this limited special I'm about to open up today, it's actually going to run them more. But for the folks in this room right now, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve to make it feel like you're getting the whole membership for free. Check this out. More on this in a minute. You're going to love it. Now, before we talk about price, though, I want to highlight maybe one of the biggest benefits of being a member of the Tesla Payout Program. You see, there's something I haven't been able to cover yet today, and it takes the Tesla Payout Program to a whole new level. Like I hinted at earlier, these opportunities are specifically designed to only activate after a very, very specific set of market signals occur on Tesla. And according to the study, that's been able to take the win rate from around 65%, which is great, but all the way to 81.25% accuracy, which is amazing. Now, in order to gain an edge that strong, I don't simply deploy these trades whenever I feel like it. There has to be a reason. And after extensive research and testing, my team and I developed a system to only isolate the most optimal weeks for entry. And this is designed to keep us on the sidelines and out of the ruts when the odds don't stack up. And it allows us to only put our hard-earned money to work when we have an extremely high conviction in the opportunity. Now, the details in the formula is simply too much information to cover today, and I wouldn't give it out for free anyways. But if you take one of the limited memberships to the Tesla Payout Program, which is what I want you to do today, then I'm going to give you the inside scoop. The Tesla Payout Plan, I'm going to give you the full details on all the data that's shown the power to keep the win rate so high over the last few years. And remember, actually taking these trades is no harder than shooting a layup. All you need is a standard brokerage account, an internet connection, a few minutes to set the trade before the end of the week. Plus, you don't need a big account. The average entry cost is only $1.25 per contract. That's roughly $125 to get started with your first trade. And here's what you get that you're going to love this. Customer support live. Nobody is invested in customer service as much as we have. And if you have any questions about the membership, the strategy, the trade alert information, or which brokerages work best, I'm going to include for you a free pass to our daily customer support live trade room where my top team members are live in a Zoom room from 10 to 1 Eastern time every day to answer any of your questions.
Jack, I'm really falling in love with these Tesla payout program. And just when I think it can't possibly get any better, you pull a number like this one. You're giving them the full strategy, walking them through it step by step, and including them in the customer service live trade rooms. Now, clearly, we're looking at a value of well over $5,000 for this exclusive membership. And I know some of our colleagues have charged even more in the past. So, Jack, $5,000, that seems more than fair to me. What about you?
Well, if you ask me, I think $5,000 per year is way too cheap. The profits on this are huge. You see, after analyzing all the data, I have to admit I'm blown away by the results from these Tesla payouts. In fact, when you account for all the trade examples, winners and losers combined, anyone starting out with just $5,000 in each trade would have been averaging right around almost $40,000 per year in extra income. Now, let me say that again. After trading through all types of market conditions, 2 bull and 2 bear markets for Tesla, good economies and bad ones, anybody starting out with even just $5,000 in each trade would have been averaging right around $40,000 per year in extra income. And that's without any sort of compounding. Now, when you compare that average annual income to the S&P 500 during that same period, it's not even close. Average annual income 540 from the S&P 500, close to $40,000 per year with the Tesla payout program. So yes, I think that this all new program at $5,000 per year, that would be way too cheap. But I don't want folks to feel like they're overcoming an obstacle when they're joining today. So here's what I'm going to do. Crazy 3-tiered bonus coming up. You're going to love this. Now pay close attention because we've never done anything like this, okay? Bonus number 1, the Tesla payout program charter member discount. That's what you're going to be today, a charter member. And I want to reward the first 100 charter members who take action today right now. The ones who see an opportunity and don't hesitate. And that's why for the first 100 early access members, instead of charging $5,000 per year, I'm going to set the price at only $2,709 for your first year. That's the average winning Tesla payout we've seen from the data. Now, bonus 1, the Tesla payout program charter member discount. This is the way that today's new members have a very legitimate shot at covering the membership with the first trade, the one this upcoming week, the week we're in right now.
I love it, Jack. $2,700. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense to me. And you've had plenty of students do this before. Michael C. wrote in, made tuition plus on the first trade. Now he has 5 winners in a row, each over $2,000. So Michael C.
10
subscription
grand.
covered, and he's 10 grand into the plus.
Hey, Graham, I want to help more people be like Michael, but I want to help them get there even faster. And that brings me to the second bonus, okay? Pay attention to here. We've never done this before. Now, if you're one of the first 100 in the door today, I'm going to double the savings and cut the already great price by 50%. That's half off. I know, hard to believe.
Wow.
But I'm going to take the price down from $5,000 where it should be, not $2,709. I'm going to take it all the way down to only $1,354 today. And after the first 100 folks join today, it's up to my team on what to do with the price, whether we'll increase the price by 1,000 or let a few more folks join. That's up to them. But if you paid attention the last time we ran a deal like this, you know it sold out fast. And if that's not good enough for you, I have one final bonus. You're going to love this. Like I mentioned, this membership is to feel like it doesn't cost you a dime. As a matter of fact, I want you to have completely paid it off before the second trade alert even goes out, knowing that every dollar you make after that initial investment is just gravy on top. So here's bonus 3. You're going to love it. The Tesla Payout Program Full Ride Scholarship. Now, how about this? If we get the green light to enter, this week I'm going to take you through all the details of the newest Tesla Payout Alert. The entry and exit, options criteria, everything I believe you need to succeed. And it'll be the same type of trade from the study that's shown the power to pay out $2,709 on each of the winners. And if we're on the winning side again, that'd be enough to cover the membership fee 2 times over. Now, you know I can never promise future returns or protect against losses, but here's what I'm going to do. This is crazy. I'm not going to start your subscription timer until the model portfolio shows at least $2,709 in profit. How about that? Meaning your subscription won't start ticking until the membership is 200% paid off according to the live trade tracker first. But I have to warn you, this is a limited time special. In fact, there's an even better multi-year discount on the membership form that will expire very soon. This best deal expires today. Now, I've already instructed the team that if we get too many folks signing up, we'll have to close down the memberships to get the newest traders onboarded first, which also means we'll most likely have to bring it back at a much higher price, closer to, I would think, that $5,000 per year. So when we drop the link in the chat, get ready to click it and join right away. And if you're ready to take action and put the Tesla payouts to work for you, then click the link in the chat or go to jackcartertrading.com/Tesla or have your credit card ready and call us 904-706-3534. We'll get you locked in. Limited time special on this best deal. Go to Jack Carter Trading, Put your name and phone number in the chat. And once you take one of the limited membership spots today, which is what I want you to do now, and you click the button to submit your order, you'll be automatically taken to another page that will ask you if you'd like to upgrade to lifetime access. And I highly recommend taking that upgrade right away. That means no pesky renewal fees ever again, no maintenance fees every year. Legacy access. Get this. You can pass this membership off to a friend or family member at any time for no extra fee. Plus, you get immediate access to all future upgrades to the Tesla payout program. And of course, an unlimited amount of these Tesla payouts alert for years and years to come, as long as I publish them. And of course, you won't be asked to pay an additional $3,995 to upgrade to lifetime like we've charged in the past. You can upgrade for less than the cost of 1 year access, which means everyone in the room should definitely take that no-brainer lifetime upgrade. That's the deal you want. You want the lifetime deal. But first, you have to take one of the spots in the Tesla payout program today to get started. So upgrade to lifetime access after locking in your membership. Go to jackcartertrading.com/Tesla or have your credit card ready. Call us 904-706-3534. Call in and say, I want the lifetime deal.
And I love here what Ellen just posted in the chat. She says, Jack is the real deal. I wouldn't miss out on his program for anything. Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you,
Guys,
Ellen.
this isn't a no-brainer deal. When Jack said the price was $2,709, which is the average payout,
Yeah.
I thought that makes a lot of sense, right? The same as an average payout, but you went ahead and slashed a half off again. So your goal is to have people have this membership paid off 2 times over by the time their second trade's going out.
Yeah.
I
All
love
gravy.
it.
All
Jack,
gravy for you.
I can't wait to see what the new members have to say after they get their hands on this week's new trade. And guys, remember, there's a limited time special that ends tonight. So don't wait until Thursday when the trade's going. Get in now. Go ahead and digest some materials and lock in that sweet deal before you end up paying more later in the week. Now, to be frank, Jack, you've had more success stories from your students over the year than probably anyone else I've ever seen. Let's take a look at some of the recent ones. Rich L said, my record is $14,905 in 4 days.
Awesome.
That's almost 15 grand, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
20.
Jack, for sharing this with the public. Irv B. Jack, your strategy is a godsend. Works great. That method has netted me about $40,000 in the past 12 months. Thanks for your good work. Now, there's something I want to point out here. Jack, you showed us the strategy, how it's paid out about $40,000 in the year. And people might look at this and say, well, there's no way I could do it. Well, Irv did it. Irv did it following Jack, so maybe you could do it too, guys. Take action today. What about Alan? Says I'm up $10,500 on the weekly trade. There you see his brokerage with the realized P&L, $10,451. Scott S. Excellent returns with a 95% win rate, ending up with $1,000 or more per week. Jared says made about $2,600 getting in and out of Amazon this week. Good stuff. Kenny M said, I have good results with you, Jack. Well, he made $60,000 in his first year with you. So we thought $40,000 was impressive. Kenny went ahead and upped the stakes. He did $60,000
Amazing.
in his first year. Mike J did even better. Starting with your strategy in January, total profit to date, $66,684. Just absolutely amazing. And plenty of more. Linda up $26,000 since March. Whoa. Tommy says made $11,000 in the past 3 weeks, Jackie. Where do I get the suits? Bill says I'm in and I'm also 87. Jack taught me how to fish. Now I want to go deep sea fishing. I love that, Bill. He's hungry. Here we go. Thank you, Jack. Good start for me. $3,000 for joining last week. $3,000 in a week. That would cover your membership twice over here with the Tesla payout program. He's looking forward to learn more from you. So the question is, and only you can answer this here right now tuning in, will you be next? Are you going to take action today? Are you going to click that link in the chat or give us a call to lock in the Tesla payout program? This is never seen before, never done before, brand new. You can be one of the first people in the world to take advantage of this. And it's really, really amazing, Jack, how you've been able to hijack these options for these high probability payouts on a stock like Tesla.
Yeah, it is amazing. And folks, remember, I want this membership to feel like you're joining for free. And that's why I included the Tesla Payout Program Full Ride Scholarship. Now, if we get the green light to enter this week, I'll take you through all the details of the newest Tesla Payout Alert, the entry and exit, options criteria, everything I believe you need to succeed. It'll be the same type of trade from the study that's shown the power to pay out $2,709 on each of the winners. Now, if we're on the winning side again, that'd be enough to cover the membership fee 2 times over, and that's what I'm expecting. But now you know I can never promise future returns or protect against losses, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to start your subscription timer until the model portfolio shows at least $2,709 profit, meaning your subscription won't start ticking until the membership is 200% paid off according to the live trade tracker first. But I have to warn you, this is a limited time special, and I can only guarantee this special deal to the first 100 folks who take action right here in this room. So you don't want to risk being the 101st person. Don't do that. Get in on this limited time deal. Go to jackcartertrading.com/Tesla. Click the link in the chat. Put your name and phone number in the chat. Tell them you want the lifetime deal or call 904-706-3534.
Yeah, Jack, and I know these spots are filling up fast. I know you opened them yesterday and we had a ton of people join. And as a reminder, guys, these aren't going to be around forever. The best deal is going away today, tonight at midnight. Don't wait around. Don't end up paying more. Take action now. And for good reason, too. You see, after analyzing the data, I have to admit, I'm blown away with the results. Remember, when you account for all of the trade examples, we're not just cherry picking. We're talking winners and losers here. Anyone starting out with even 5K would have ended up with about $39,000 per year in extra income. That's not the total profit. Total profit's $81,000. But when you average it out per year, about $40,000 per year, like many of Jack's students have seen in his work in the past. Let me say that again. After trading through all types of market conditions, 2 bull and 2 bear markets for Tesla, good economies and bad ones, anyone starting out with just 5K in each trade would have been averaging right around $39,933 per year in extra income. That's not with any sort of compounding either. Now, when you compare that to the S&P, not even close. You guys can see this. It doesn't even hold a candle to it. You can't even compare it. $540, you would have made more than that in your first trade with the Tesla payout program, and that's what I love about it. So yes, I agree, Jack. $5,000 per year, that's way too cheap. But 1,354 for the first year, Jack, that's like robbing a bank
That's
here. So
not
guys,
even fair. Yeah.
click that link in the chat to get started. Lock in this ultra low price. I'm willing to bet that you're not going to see this around for much longer at this rock bottom pricing here. And again, that multi-year that ends tonight. So go ahead, save yourself some money, take action now, go digest some materials, and prepare for the first trade alert.
Graham, I wouldn't be shocked if we're at 100 new members by the time we get to the questions in the chat. And I can't wait to send folks their first Tesla payout alert with detailed options criteria, entry and exit, all included. No guesswork on your end. Now, we'll open the chat and answer all the questions here in a moment. But first, let me highlight 2 more bonuses, if you can believe that I have for you. Now, obviously, to get these big, juicy payouts in Tesla, we have to use options. And options are a great way to leverage your returns when you have a very high conviction underlying strategy like we do here. Now, I know that not everyone is totally familiar with options just yet, and that's okay. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to get started in the options guide. That's a $495 value. And let me assure you that this is one of the more basic options trades out there. Nothing crazy. And of course, it's not going to be an extra $495 to get this added to your membership. Not even $250. I'm including it in the Tesla payout program for free. And before I forget, earlier I mentioned that the new members will get the full strategy guide, nothing held back. Well, inside this easy-to-read report, I outline how you can apply the same strategy that I'll be teaching you onto other fast-moving tickers for great results. So once you lock in your membership today, I highly recommend going and getting your hands on this report, and it'll show you how to target payouts like 1,322, 2,103, even $2,890 on stocks like PLTR or CVNA. That way, you have a shot to grow your account at an even faster clip than originally expected. And both of these bonuses are included for free for the first folks who take action today. So join today before the next trade alert goes out. I'm going to do it live with you. Go to jackcartertrading.com/Tesla or have your credit card ready. Call us 904-706-3534 or put your name and phone number in the chat and we'll get you locked in, or click the link on the chat and get that lifetime deal.
Jack, I love it. This keeps getting better and better. You're sweetening the pot with all these bonuses. Now, before we open the chat to answer some questions, let me ask you a few common questions.
Okay.
How much money is needed?
Well, the average trade is around $125. So it's affordable for anybody, even if you're starting out with a smaller account size.
Awesome. Is this some form of day trading here?
Nope. We're always entering on Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern time with up to a week and a half of holding time. Now, sometimes the trades are so good that they automatically close out the next day, but that does not count against you with the day trading rules.
Awesome. No day trading here. Then should I be worried about more downside in the markets this year?
Well, that's the beauty of the system. We don't need the stock market to go roaring higher. We don't even need Tesla to be making a 52-week high. All we need is a big move in Tesla while in a trade, which happens 4 out of every 5 times. And our brokerage should automatically cash us out. And I want to just stop right here. This is the beautiful thing is we don't have to worry about the broad market. We don't even have to worry about Tesla. This is not about Tesla. It's not about electronic cars. It's not about the stock going higher. It's not about Elon Musk. It's about the fact that Tesla moves 1 to 2% almost every week. And when we get that green light, we get to take advantage of that statistic with a high conviction trade. That's what it's at. It's we get that 1 to 2% move. That is not abnormal. That is normal. We just need that green light to pinpoint right when we should get in.
I love it. I love it. Can I take this trade in a regular brokerage or maybe if I have an IRA or 401k?
Yeah, it's retirement account friendly. And if you're just using a normal account, any regular brokerage account does the trick.
Awesome. What's the next Tesla payout trade?
Well, I'm only sharing that information with today's charter members. My action takers are going to get that.
Awesome. I love it. And just to cover this one more time, is every trade going to be a winner?
No, of course not. No strategy wins 100% of the time. But according to the tracker so far, these Tesla payouts have been extremely profitable for folks who stick to the system. And I'm not just saying that. Look at it right here. The profit is $81,290. Just facts, okay? Just the facts right here.
I love it. How do we close the trade?
Well, this is what I love too, is with automated exit, you don't have to do anything to exit the trade. And I'm going to teach you how to do it step by step, and then you just let you do the first work for you.
That's awesome. Is there any sort of guarantee here?
Yes, there is. Since this is a premium offering and it requires a ton of work on my end, I'm offering folks a 14-day money-back guarantee, meaning in your first 2 weeks, if you're not thrilled, you can cancel. But my goal is to have you cover the membership fee as fast as possible with these trades.
That is awesome. That's really amazing. Is there any other methods you'll teach us in the masterclass or the trainings?
Yes, I'm going to give you all the details, plus how you can replicate this strategy with high-paying results on other tickers like PLTR, CVN8, a lot of others.
Awesome, awesome. Now, do I have to be glued to the computer to take these entries and exits?
No, you don't. Both of the entries and exits are extremely easy to manage. Now, the entry is going to come around 2 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays, and that's going to give you plenty of time to enter the market's close before the market closes that day, and the exits are automated.
Awesome.
And once the trade comes out on Thursday, you can take about 2 minutes to place it from your laptop or cell phone, then you're done.
That's amazing. Will it cost $4,000 per year to join like we've charged in the past?
Well, not yet. Not right now. New members can get in for just $1,354 for the first year, and even cheaper if you do the multi-year deal. But I have to warn you, this is a limited special.
That is awesome. Now, if I wanted to upgrade to lifetime, which I recommend everyone does, what's the opportunity here?
Yeah, you can, and you should. Once you click the button on the online order page to confirm your membership, the website should automatically redirect the next page where you can upgrade to lifetime for pennies on the dollar. And I recommend everybody take that option. That's the one everybody wants. Everybody wants the lifetime deal.
Yep.
So here's what you get. You get the whole enchilada, the whole Tesla payout program, not for $5,000, only $1,354. You're going to get 3 to 4 alerts each month. Automated exits built in. You got to love that. Payout program strategy guide. That's your homework. I want you to read that today. Getting started with options, the Tesla payout, detailed option criteria, text, email, and telegram notifications, customer service live every weekday. Amazing. Charter member discount, double bonus, Tesla payouts, full ride scholarship. And I can't wait to do the live trade with you. So click the link in the chat. Put your name and phone number in the chat. We're going to get rocking and rolling, and I want you to be there. Invest in yourself and start getting profits so big they got a comma in them. We're shooting for $2,709. Over 50% is the goal with every single trade. That's the kind of profit you want. That's the kind of profit you deserve. So take action and get it with me. I'm going to take you there.
I absolutely love it. We got someone yesterday signed up for lifetime. I love seeing it again. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. And we're excited to get you started. We got a note here. More than half the spots are gone, filled up. And again,
Whoa.
the multi-year deal ends at midnight tonight. So either way, either join today or you're probably going to end up paying more when you take action later. Now,
All
guys,
right.
Jack and I only have a couple of minutes here. We're going to open up the chat here and answer some of your questions. But again, post them in the chat now. We'll be happy to get them answered. Otherwise, we're gonna have to run here pretty soon because the market close is coming up. Average win, average loss. I believe the average return was about 25%. The average win was about 54%. William, if that answers your question, with an 81% win rate.
Yeah, 54% return is what we shoot at with each trade. And that's how we got to $2,709. We're using a $5,000 starting stake to get that. But you can start with $125 and then scale up.
Yeah.
The only thing you should not do is pass on this, right? Start where you are, big or small, that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you get started. Swing the bat. I'm going to take you there. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to get a hot one coming in this week, and I can't wait to take advantage of it.
I love it. Jyoti says he joined this morning. Awesome to have you in on the Tesla payout program. Phil's asking, which platform do I need?
Anyone, any platform, Schwab, E-Trade, all of them, they're good.
Awesome. Shannon, if your 401k is allowed to trade options, you should be allowed to use this in there. But I'm not sure. It probably just depends on which one who you have your 401k with.
Yeah, Mark says, do you have to be online to see the green light? No, you don't, Mark. I'm going to watch for the green light, and I'm going to spoon feed you the cream of the crop trade. So you won't have to pay attention to any lights. You're just going to get the trade alert email, text, and telegram. And all you got to do is get in before the market closes on Thursday. But you don't have to be on the alert for any green lights. I'm going to do all that for you. You could just be out playing around. Get the trade, take the trade if you choose, then go enjoy your life. We got the automatic exit baked into this trade. So it's perfect for you.
Awesome. I love it. And as a reminder, guys, multi-year deal where you can be able to, I think it's less than $700 a year if you do the multi-year deal. Even better savings than what you're seeing here. That's only good for today. That's going to be off the table tonight. So lock it in now before it's gone, before you never see it again. You'll definitely want to make sure to close that deal first. And then, of course, next page, you can upgrade to lifetime. Everyone should do that as well.
Yeah, I see Mark asked about this strategy. Is it better than another strategy here? They're just different goals, different risk, just totally different. But this is great. This is something you want to add to whatever else it is you're doing. This is super clean, right? The algorithm is doing all the work. When that green light goes off, then I just pick out the options. We already know what stock we're going to do. And it doesn't matter if Tesla goes to 1,000 or 10 because we know that it is normal for Tesla to move 1% to 2% in a week. That's no big deal. That's normal. We just have to know when is the optimum time. And that's where that green light comes in. So I'm going to watch for that. You're going to get the alert Thursday, 2 o'clock or after. You're going to have plenty of time to get in, and you don't have to do anything. Just be on the lookout for the alert. I'll tell you which one to do, how to place the trade, then go enjoy your life. Let it automatically cash out. This is going to be the easiest trading you've ever done. Okay? Simple, clean, don't have to think about anything, right? Super clean. When you see the email from me, take the trade if you choose, let it automatically cash you out, and enjoy it. This is one of the cleanest, funnest systems I've ever seen, and it's powerful too. I don't know any systems that are targeting 54% return.
That's
I don't
awesome.
know any of that in a week. I mean, this is kill. And look at this win rate, right? I would never have expected to see something 81%. I mean, 66, 65%, that's awesome. But now with this green light added in, we've bumped it up to 81.25%. That's why it's so good. You got such a strong advantage, a built-in advantage with built-in automated exits. This is what you want. If you want to make money, profits so big they got a comma in them, this is what you want. So get going today. Invest in yourself. You're going to love this.
I love it. Barbara has a good question here. Are we going to be using puts or shorting? Because Tesla's going down. Barbara, one of the cool things here that Jack's done is you're just getting paid on the volatility, really. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it goes up. Jack doesn't care if Tesla goes up 1,000%
No.
or falls another 90% from here. That volatility, as long as you get that move, you can get paid,
And we get that. Yeah.
even
We
if the
get
stock
that.
drops, even if the stock
Yes.
goes higher. You just wanted to make that move on the
That's right.
volatility basis, and that's how you get paid here, Barbara. So you don't really need to guess if it's going higher or lower. You just got to
No.
place a trade when Jack's
Yeah.
system gives you the green light.
Yeah, like so. Think about it like this: Tesla's at whatever it is right now, maybe 200. If it was at 1,000, it would still have the same volatility in the options. If it
Mm.
was at 10, it would still have the same volatility in the options. And we're only in about a week. All we need is that little green light to say, "Hey, it's about to kick off that 1 to 2% move." Regardless of the price, it doesn't matter. And bang, we got our trade. So Elon, he could be crazy. He could say whatever he wants. They could stop selling these cars and have the worst EV in the world, but this stock is just electric, and these options are just juicy, and
And
that's why we do it. We don't do it because we think electric cars are the future. We're not doing it because we think Elon Musk is so great. We don't not doing it because we even think Tesla is great. We just know that Tesla has an anomaly. A 1 to 2% move is baked into the way that thing trades. And we use that algorithm to give us that green light, to give us the optimum time to place that trade. Super simple.
I love it. Uh, Shannon, the first trade, yes, on Thursdays at 2 p.m., Jack says. So you guys don't need to be checking your computer 24/7, wondering when a trade's going to come. Just check Thursday afternoon. You should be good to go.
Yep. We got to get that green light, though. I got to tell you. Otherwise, we won't have a trade.
That's true. That is true. Not forcing anything here, not taking
We're
extra
not.
risks.
No, we're not using my discretionary trading approach. It's not based on Jack Carter. This is a 100% algo that we're using that's really dialed into when we should place that trade. Now we know it moves 1 to 2%, right? That's normal. But when do you place the trade? That's where we get that edge from that green light. That's why you want to be on this, because you got a high conviction trade being spoon fed to you every week.
Awesome. Barbara, I,
You don't need to own Tesla to do this trade.
no. Yeah, you don't have to touch a single share, Barbara.
Yeah. Yeah. Shannon says if a trade alert always comes out on Thursday, we could miss major volatility opportunities on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, you could. But if we don't get a green light, I want to miss them. I want to be on the sidelines unless I get the green light. So if it has major volatility Tuesday and Wednesday, awesome. But if I don't get the green light, I'm not playing ball. I get the green light, then I'm in, because I know that's given us like a head start, right? When to get in, we know that 1 to 2% move is coming up. That's what the green light is timed for. So if something happens Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, good. But we're only getting in when we get the green light.
That's awesome. Shannon, I highly recommend once you lock in your membership right now, go to the members portal, read this full strategy guide. Jack, I took a peek before we logged on today. It's really something. There's a reason he does Thursday, Shannon. You know why? What happens on Fridays? What happens every week on Fridays, especially when we're talking about options? It's expiration day. So there's something
Yes.
special going on Thursday to Friday that increases this volatility. So Shannon, by not entering on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, you're actually increasing your odds, as you'll see. Again, take your membership, go to the full strategy guide, give that a read. It's really awesome,
Yeah.
Shannon.
It is awesome. And I can't take credit for it. I cannot. We got the best team I've ever seen. The guys I work with here, I just love these guys. And this is how it happens. It's a team effort. And this thing is just, it's smoking hot. The win rate is amazing. The payout 54%. I don't know any other strategy where you put $5,000 down and you got a really strong shot at making $2,700. I don't know of anything like that. 81% of the time, there's no reason why you should not buy this, right? Every single person that likes making big money. I mean, not $100, not $200. We're talking 2709. You like those kind of profits, you're going to love the Tesla payout program.
That is awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to give it about 30 seconds here, and then we got to run. But I appreciate you all for showing up. Jack, thank you for taking us through this. And I hope we got some
Pleasure,
action
buddy.
takers here in the room, because this is going to start rolling hot, and we're going to bring this back. Price is probably going to be twice what you've seen today, if
Yeah,
not
at least
even higher.
$5,000. At
Yeah.
least $5,000. I think the win rate is going to go up, and I think the profit factor is going to go up, and I think that we're going to be back to $5,000. So I see people guessing, is this credit or is this debit spreads? Don't worry about it. All right. If you like the type of results we've shown you here, go ahead and get in. And in 14 days, if you're not happy, get a refund. But don't pass this opportunity up. You are going to love it. Start with the program strategy guide. I'm going to give you a little tiny homework assignment. But then when we meet this week, if we got the green light, bam, 2709 is going to be rolling in the next week.
I love it.
That's what I want.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here today. Again, you're going to want to join right now. Trade's going out this week, but also that multi-year deal ends today. So take action today. Save yourself some money. And thank you, Jack, here for joining us on this
Thank you,
lovely
Graham.
Monday. I think the SPY just turned positive on the day, actually, too. So
Unbelievable.
what a comeback. What a
Adios,
comeback.
amigos.
See
I
y'all.
can't wait to see you on Thursday.